What's up, peoples?
Hi, everybody. For a
Okay.
Wait.
Okay. It's a pop up. This is a pop up. Listen, for those of you who are not familiar with the pop up, make sure you go to our YouTube channel and check out the other pop ups that we've done. We did a pop up about communications. We did a pop up about perimenopause. That was a good one. This pop up today is the pop up today is the big day is here. And we're going to talk about what the big day is. We're going to talk about how we feel about the big day. Who we got? If you here, give us a shout. Say what's up. We're not going to be long. This pop up is going to be fairly short, but if people have been watching me on social media, they should be familiar with
I gotta get some
you gotta get what?
bifocals. Right. Stop taking off my glasses so I can read the screen and then putting them back on.
Hollis, what's good?
Hi, Hollis.
G, what's good, man? Happy birthday, bro. My guy. Those of you who G said hi, Denise. Hey, Denise.
Hi. Jabron, is that how you say it?
Mhm.
Hi, Jabron.
Those of you who follow me may have seen posts where I use the hashtag journey to 50, or I use or I've been doing the T minus. So I did a T minus 10. I think I did a T minus something else. So there's no more T minus because it's blast off time. If we were counting down 3, 2, 1, blast off time. And I don't know. I feel almost kind of, you see I'm fidgety. So, I have chosen to, you guys who know us know that we are extremely passionate about marriage enrichment and self-development. Extremely passionate. Very, very cognizant of the fact that this is something that was placed on us. Mm-hmm. It's not something we went out seeking. So to give you some background, really quick background, people would ask us for advice and say, "Man, we love your ministry. Your marriage is a ministry," and we'd be looking at each other like, "Yeah, come home for a second. I don't know what you're talking about." Like
ministry?
Like
I don't feel like we're ministering at all.
And so fast forward 2013, we started blogging, and that was it. Shout out to Leslie Samuel. I know he's not on here, but every time I think about blogging, I think about him because it was his instructions in a course that he did that allowed me to even put that blog together. So shout out to him. That was the beginning, but that was all we had in mind. We're going to blog and be like, hey, some of this advice we've been given, let's tell some of our story. Let's share with people, and we just hope that it will be beneficial. That's it.
And here we are today.
Obviously, that's not what God had in mind. And so fast forward, many things happening between then and now, leading up to this moment. What's up?
My mic is.
Yeah, it's the arm. I probably gotta get a new arm.
Yeah.
So fast forward to now, right? Well, let me before now. Coming into 2018, it became official. It actually became a company, an LLC, Denali LLC. And after making that company, we'd have conversations like, man, it would be really cool if we could just do this, if this was the only thing we were doing and that kind of thing. And so fast forward, man, this is the big day. The big day. Today was my last day in the corporate environment.
Woo-hoo.
I am stepping out on faith. Now, those of you who are people of faith, and this story about the children of Israel going through the Red Sea. So if you know the story of the children of Israel going through the Red Sea, the children of Israel, the Red Sea opened for them. and then they went through the Red Sea, right? That's a phenomenal miracle. When it was time to go through the Jordan, very different scenario when it was time to go through the Jordan. When it was time to go through the Jordan, those guys had to step into the water first before it opened up.
Mm-hmm.
So what we're doing right now is a Jordan River experience. I have chosen to step out in the water. Kimon, I see you, man. We're going to have a conversation soon. Kimon, coach extraordinaire.
Yeah.
Ideas to life. If you got an idea you want to bring to life, you need to get at that
He's
guy.
the man that will help you do it.
GP, appreciate you, bro. Thank you. You and I have to talk as well. I'll be reaching out, and I'll talk about that later, about the reach out piece. But man, thank you, GP. Appreciate that. Yeah, come on, big move. That's the big day, man. And I think this pop-up is really maybe more about us sharing our journey as it relates to the thought process around that. So jump in on that, babe. Thank you, Hollis. Thank you.
So I knew it was coming, and I knew that eventually one or both of us was going to make the move. I knew that it was going to happen because that's what God called us to do. And so I believe that. I've always believed it. But I think we've been stalling for a long time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Stalling as far as making the move, even though God has been telling us the whole time to go ahead. Well, not the whole time, but towards the latter part of the past I'd say for the last couple of years,
mm-hmm.
God has been like, you need to let go of your corporate job. Trust me, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And so I knew that it was coming, but then you started getting really agitated the last year to 6 months.
Yeah.
I'd say.
Last year, definitely last 6 months.
Yeah.
Right.
And it was because you knew you weren't supposed to be there. Mm-hmm. You were supposed to have gone a long time ago, but God was just being patient with us. And so, you would keep saying to me, man, I don't know how much longer I can keep this up. It's very difficult for me to work my 9 to 5 and also, give Denali the attention that it needs. And every time you would say that, and I don't know if you noticed, I would get quiet. And it's not because I didn't agree with you. It was just because I was nervous.
That's interesting you would say that, because I did notice that.
Yeah.
And here's what I would always think. It's interesting. This is stuff that's coming out fresh and new. Like, we haven't talked about this. So here's what's interesting. When you would go quiet.
Did you think I didn't agree with you?
I thought a few things. That being one, I knew there was some level of angst, right?
Apprehension.
But have you noticed that when you would be quiet, I would not say anything else? Like, I would not continue the conversation. Did you notice?
Yes.
Uh-huh. And that's because when you would say, when I'd say, man, I don't think I'm not going to get too much longer in this year, and you wouldn't say anything, in my mind, I'm like, okay, I'll tell you everything that was going through my mind. One, I'm like, okay, maybe she doesn't agree with me right now, mm-hmm. and she's just not saying it. Or maybe she's nervous, mm-hmm. right? And then I'm like, well, I'd always be like, okay, I'm not doing it. Because I'm not, I need to have her on board, so I'm not doing it. But then the next day and the next day would come, and I'd just be still battling in my head. Right?
Now, the crazy thing about all of this and us not talking about this before now is that, we would have conversations here and there, mm-hmm. and say things like,
what's up, Carbons?
We would say, hi, Carbons, stuff like, man, when we leave the corporate space, or mm-hmm. when we, start doing Denali full time. So we knew that it was going to happen. It's not as if we never talked about it at all.
Right.
But because I think because I knew that when you would make statements like that, man, I don't know how much longer this is going to be able to work. I think you making those statements just made it more real to me that it was going to happen sooner than later.
Right. Yep.
That was my apprehension. It's not like we never ever talked about it at all. It was just that it was coming at me really much sooner.
Yeah, I get it.
Than I
get it.
I guess thought it would.
I saw Kimon have a conversation. You're right, man, and
Yeah.
it was interesting because, and yes, Mia, what's up, Mia? Shout out to Mia. Hey, shout out to Mia. Go check her out. Phenomenal coaching, counseling, consulting firm that she has. Definitely check her out. Check out Kimon as well. Kibway, my guy, what's good? Kibway Cooper. Shout out to Kibway. Kibway is the dude you want to see and go to if you're trying to start a podcast. Make sure that you get at Kibway Cooper. That's what's up. Yeah, so the conversations, you forgot your thought?
My water.
Oh, go ahead. Take that. So the conversations were happening, but the conversations were happening in bits and pieces.
Yeah.
So I would say something, she'd have a reaction, but maybe wouldn't say, or would say something very small back.
Yeah.
And we were kind of, well, I can't speak for you. I'm reading into the words that she's saying, and it's stopping me from really digging deeper into the conversation.
I feel really bad about that.
Nah, it's nothing to feel bad about. I mean, it's the process, right? It's part of the process. It's great transparency. Man, thank you, bro.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, and so we were, like you said, we're having these conversations. I call them these what if conversations.
Yeah.
Right? And you're having these conversations, man, it would be so nice if we did this. Can you imagine if we were doing this?
Right.
We're daydreaming about, the things that we'd be able to do and accomplish, but not setting anything concrete.
Yeah. That's the thing. I think if we would have sat down and written down, okay, by XYZ, a year from now, 6 months from now, whatever, we need to start making plans. I think that would have solidified it a little bit more in my mind. But instead, we were just like, we know it's going to happen one day. We know it's going to happen one day. We know it's going to happen one day. But we never really sat down and talked about it. Not until the end, anyway.
Yeah.
Not until close to the end.
Right. So fast forward, 2020, the world gets crazy. I come home now from the corporate space. I come home from sometimes being out of the home for 12, 13 hours a day on some days. Now I'm home for that time. I'm able to finish the book and publish the book. We're able to do 2 marriage forums, one in August of 2020, one in January of this year. And it's now the bug is like, it's not biting me anymore. It's literally like, I don't know. It's not the little bug like it's pinching you. Like it's literally like biting chunks out of me at this point. And we come into 2021 and I said, you know what? I don't think I'm gonna make it to the end of this year.
Yeah.
Now let's go back even further. And I think I reminded you of this the other day. Back in 2020,
I know what you're gonna say.
We had this conversation early 2020 when we first signed on with Melissa Jake. Shout out to Rescue Event Planning.
Amazing.
When we first signed on with her, you told me
I remember
that it would happen before I turned 50.
Yep.
So those of you who've been following me, you've seen some of the posts that say Journey to 50. I turned 50 in the fall. And I thought about that as coming into 2021, and this thing is like biting my head off now. It's not just these little bites anymore. And so I go to her and I say, you know what? I don't think I'm going to make it. I don't think I'm going to make it through 2021. The interesting thing, and why this is a faith move, for those of you who heard what I was talking about with the Jordan River experience, the reason why this is a faith move is because in our lives, and I used to think this was a bad thing, literally until recently. In our lives, we can point back to a whole bunch of different things that are unorthodox.
Yeah.
That haven't happened the way that they should have happened. I mean, we can go all the way back to the wedding.
Yep.
Unorthodox.
Yep.
Everything leading up to the wedding, unorthodox.
Yep, you're right.
Everything after the wedding, unorthodox.
Yep.
Right? The way our lives went, the things that happened with the kids. There's so many things that were unorthodox. And when this thing in 2018, when it became an LLC, I had a friend tell me, you're waiting for all of these things to take place. Because I'm waiting for the orthodox things to take place. I'm waiting to have the money. I'm waiting to have the setup. I'm waiting to have all of the systems in place 100%.
Yeah.
And he was like, you know what?
It's not going to happen that way.
There are some things that just won't happen until you do it.
Yeah.
Like, it's just not going to happen. And that was very inspirational and phenomenally scary.
Yeah.
So I set it aside.
Yeah.
I was like, nah. Because I'm thinking about all the things that have been unorthodox in our life and how we've had to fight through it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't want to do that with this.
Yeah.
I don't want to do that with this. And then coming to the realization that, okay, if you believe that you're going to be taken care of, you're going to have to walk an unorthodox path with this as well. Mm-hmm. And so, thank you, Mia. Congratulations. Mia said, this makes my heart happy. Yeah, Mia knows that I was, I've been battling with that.
The fence.
Yeah, Mia and I had a great conversation, and she was very helpful. She's a coach. That's what she does. You know what I mean? So thank you for that. Yeah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. October rocks. That's right. I'll be 50 in October. And so now we're having this conversation. I'm telling her almost it. First of all, it was like maybe on a week-to-week basis. Then we get down to like April, and it's like daily.
Daily, literally daily.
And this table, it would be my workspace
for
the day. And I'd be down here all hours. I'm on calls. It's a pretty demanding job that I had. I loved it. Now, don't get me wrong. No complaints. Very time consuming. Sometimes I'm on calls 9, 10 o'clock at night. I think around that time, April, 11:45 call. It was crazy, right? Mm-hmm. So every day I'm coming to her, I'm like,
And the funny thing is,
I'm not gonna make it.
He would work down here in this studio, and I would work. I've always worked from home. I would work upstairs, and I could it was like almost visible, the heaviness that you could see, like around you, surrounding you, over you, whatever you want to say. You could see it, like it was just such a weight on you. Mm-hmm. It seemed like it was just so heavy. And what I realize now, what it was is not that you didn't like your job, but it was just, I think, God had to move you, stir you up in some way, make you agitated so that you would make the move. Mm-hmm. I think that's what it was.
I think that's what it was. And I was starting to hear a lot of stuff playing back in my head. So I had Rodney's words, and things are not going to happen until you step out. Mm-hmm. I had my guy, Robert Bruce, who was like, hey, I hear what you're saying, but you haven't told me no dates yet. Mm-hmm. So it's not real until you make it real. Yeah. You know what I mean? And so that, to make the story even shorter, in, what was that, May, right? When I came to you and said, I think I'm going to set a date.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I come to her in May. I'm like, I think I'm going to set a date. And I think I'll call it irony. It's not really, but also around that time that I was thinking about setting a date, I'm double dipping. So I'll be honest. If there's any Allegiance Group folk, that are here, I can be honest now because it was my last day. So, but I was double dipping. I'm trying to do my work, my corporate work. I'm also trying to do other things on the side. If I have a few moments, I'm on here on the other screen, creating graphics or doing whatever. I dropped the ball on these two initiatives.
For work,
for my corporate space. And it wasn't terrible. But it was unlike my work up until that point. Mm-hmm. So it raises some red flags. Like, this dude doesn't work like this. So what's happening right now? So I have this evaluation moment with leadership, and they're like, "Hey,
get it together." Basically,
two, like, hey, what's happening with you? You know what I'm saying? Like, we're about to put more on your plate. So we got to be confident that, you know what I'm saying? Like, we know what you can do, But it's something weird about these two things, especially in a place where we're about to put more on your plate. So when I hear that they're about to put more on my plate and I'm already extremely busy, I'm like, oh man, this is a bad time for me to be like, I think I'm going out the door actually.
Deuces.
So I go to Nisi and I'm like, you know what? I think I'm gonna set a date. A couple guys told me, no matter how called you are, or no matter how much you feel like God is, I felt like God was leading me. That's what I was saying at first, but now it feels like He's kicking me in the back. So no matter how much He's kicking you in the back, do not do anything until your wife says she's with you 100%. So I go to Nisi. I'm like, I think I'm going to set a date. This is the date I think I'm going to set. August 1st. How do you feel about that? And we're driving to a graduation barbecue. Do you remember?
Mm-hmm.
We're driving to a graduation barbecue. We got about a 45-minute drive. And this is our conversation.
Yeah.
And I was nervous.
Were you really? In the car?
Oh my goodness. Like,
Aww.
heart beating fast.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't tell you any of that.
I didn't notice.
Because if you can think back to the drive, whenever we weren't talking, I was just looking straight ahead.
Well, I would hope so.
But you know, normally we're engaging, right?
No,
and, you know, so there'd be some. Yeah, I was just like this.
Yeah.
Because I was just like, you know, it was like the Olympics happening in my head, like you know, gymnastics happening in my head, and I remember you saying, "Man, I know that." What were your words? You said,
I don't remember
know
what I said.
Hold on. I remember. You said, I know that we are. This is what you said. I know that we'll be moving blind, but I'm with you.
Okay.
And when you said that.
You put your foot on the gas.
when you said that, I'm not going to say all the angst went away. Mm-hmm. But when you said that, that was the thing that kind of unlocked that space in me to set a date. And I put I don't know if you remember, I put my notice in. Like, I had the conversation with leadership like the next day.
Yeah, I do remember. Yeah. And
that was June 1st. The next day was June 1st. And I told them, listen, hey, I am well, let me say this before I say what I told them. They knew what I was doing. So it wasn't a secret. Mm-hmm. And shout out to Allegiance Group. Let me just stick a pin right here. Shout out to the company. I'm going to shout them out. I've never said what the company's name is in all the time that we've talked about corporate, but shout out to Allegiance Group. I can't begin to tell you the level of support and encouragement. I was able to sit down with the president yesterday, a couple of VPs yesterday, all of them. The president read the book, by the way, and gave me some, you know, great feedback. Like it was just phenomenal, the support that this company has given me. And so I sat down with leadership and I said, listen, you know, you guys know what I've been doing outside of here. I've been trying to build this thing, and it's just, I'm convinced that it's time for me to put 200% into it and see what happens. Hey Judith, what's up? Thanks for joining. Mike Jones, the support of a good woman is all you need, bro. I'm telling you.
Mike Jones, congratulations to you guys.
Oh yeah, that's right. Move day today.
We'll talk later.
Yeah, absolutely. So I went to them, and the person I report to is who I went to first. And she was like, I already knew. Mm-hmm. Basically, she was like, I knew it was coming. I just didn't know when it was coming. You know, I know that you've been doing this on the side, and you've been building, and you've been spending a lot of time and a lot of hours. Listen, chase your dream, do it. You know, so they've been very supportive. But for us, I think we had to realize, I told somebody today that there was a very even level of apprehension and excitement.
But I think though that is part of the faith journey,
It is.
because I think that if we weren't apprehensive at all, if we weren't nervous, that would be what's the word? A little bit not.
That'd be presumptuous, I think.
But that's the word.
But you
It
know
would
what's
be
happening?
presumptuous.
You know what's happening though? I'm seeing the level of excitement start to
I am too.
outweigh the angst, if you will.
Yeah, well, yes, I am too. But I do believe though that in order for it to be a to be a faith journey,
Mhm.
we're gonna have moments, even if right now the excitement is starting to build. I think that the excitement will always build,
Mhm.
but the level of, geez, I'm excited, but what, I can't see further than right here.
Mhm.
I think that will always be in the forefront for us, because if not, it would not be a faith journey.
True.
It's not faith if you can see it. And
Right.
so even though you're excited, you still have that little bit of, I really can't see ahead of
Yeah.
right here.
Yeah, that's true. So listen, we're not gonna stay long. We're gonna get out of here. But the main point of this pop up was just to share
Or
a little
we're
piece
feeling.
of that journey and how we've been feeling. I have 2 requests. The 2 requests are all fall under the umbrella of support.
Mhm.
I'm asking folk for your support. Now, how am I asking for your support? In 2 ways, 3 ways. One, if you believe in the power of prayer, I need you to pray for us. Pray that specifically that as we step in the direction that God is moving us to step, that the right things will solidify under our feet.
Yeah.
Because
It will.
we're literally stepping into something that's unknown, right?
Yeah, they will. I
That-
believe that they will.
That's the first thing, right?
Hi, Lenore.
Yes, need another session, Mia. I'll reach out. That's the first thing, right? Lenore, what's up? First thing, pray. Second thing, support. Like, support. Like, buy a t-shirt. Come to an event when you see the events pop up.
Yeah,
Get in a group coaching course.
yeah,
Sign up for a one-on-one. Like, that kind of support. Like, business support. Like, come into the business and do something.
and refer your peoples.
That was the third thing.
Okay.
The third thing is support in the way of, hey, I know this couple that does this. And, let me put you in contact with them. So those are the 3 things that we're asking. This is the big day. We're going to get out of here. But yeah, man, this is something that, we are strongly convinced that God is in.
I will say this. Since you have, ever since you gave in your notice,
Mhm.
even with the level of, not seeing further than a certain point, even with all of that, I don't know about for you, but I think for both of us, it's been a higher level of peace. Would you say that?
I would say that.
Yeah. And so
I
that
would
to
say that.
me also is encouraging, because that's letting me know. I feel like if this was not the right move, we would not be as peaceful about it.
Yeah.
Even with the whole faith journey and the unknown, so to speak.
Mhm.
And I don't like to use the word unknown, because it kind of is unknown to a certain extent, but the whole calling,
Mhm.
we know that we're supposed to do it,
Mhm.
and we know what we're gifted at in all of that. So in that regard, it's not unknown.
Yeah.
But it's just how all of what we do is going to lay out
Yeah.
is what's unknown
I agree with that.
to a certain extent.
I agree with that.
But yeah, there's been a level of peace ever since you've made the decision,
Mhm.
I think. Whereas before, you for sure were just so agitated. And of course, you don't feel that anymore.
No, I don't.
Yeah.
I don't feel that anymore. I think that just that I agree with that kind of calm, like, okay, I finally did it,
Yeah.
or I'm finally doing it. I also think that I was very strategic in the beginning of who I was talking to.
Yes.
And I was specifically talking to people who either are very, very cognizant of the faith journey,
Yeah.
or they've actually walked that path
Yeah.
and stepped out and did something and it looked crazy or sounded crazy and they actually did it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then, so that helped. And then I was telling Nisi today that the amount of support that I got from my company, it was almost like filling up a bank or like a storage bin, like a whole storage container company of encouragement that I feel like I'll be able to pull from as I go through this time, man. And so Lenore, I saw, yeah, we saw you guys move. Yeah, you already know what it is.
Yeah.
Like we got you. So G, congrats. Yeah, thank you, man. Yes, my man, I appreciate that.
Thank you.
That's what we're looking for.
Thank you.
Matter of fact, Lenore Jones, who's in here,
God got jokes for sure, Lenore.
in any kind of like, Lenore is like the legacy,
She's the chaplain.
family, finance. Like, you want to get your life together in those areas, that's who you need to talk to.
Yes. Lenore
and Mike.
Put your legacy builders.
Yeah, legacy builders.
Put it in the comments.
Everybody who was shouted out, put your stuff in the comments so other people can see that as well. Because I'm gonna tell you this. I'm gonna tell you one thing about me, man.
Mia, you too. Put your stuff in the comments.
One thing about me. I'm gonna always push. That's just me. I know I'm building something too, but
we're gonna all build together.
Yeah, the world is bigger than me, right? So put all your stuff in the comments. There's a wealth of stuff, man. GP is in here. Mike and Lenore is in here. Jabron is in here. Mia is in here. Kimon is in here.
Yes.
Like put your stuff in the comments, man.
Yeah.
They are some phenomenal folks running some phenomenal businesses and doing some great work and have some good connections. So do that.
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna get out of here. Today was the last day in the corporate space. So Monday morning when I wake up, I have a new schedule and a new set of activities and a new set of duties. And I'll be reaching out to folks and answer the calls and emails. And let's see where God takes us.
Yay.
Yeah.
Super proud of you, man.
Thank you. Much appreciated. So we out of here, fam. Make sure to put your stuff in the comments, and we'll let you know when the next pop-up is. Again, if you're not following us if you're not connected to us on YouTube, please subscribe on YouTube. Check out the other two pop-ups, particularly the one on perimenopause, because your girl that's sitting next to me in the pink shirt is driving me insane, ladies and gentlemen.
No, I'm not.
That's what's up. So, Mia said, I love your nonverbal support. That's what's up. All right, so we out of here, fam. Thank you so much for taking some time out to
think about that.
To hang out with us.
I'm sorry, I had to think about that.
What?
I love your nonverbal support. Okay. I don't know why that. Never mind.
It flew past you.
Yeah, I was like, what? Sorry.
Thanks for hanging out with us for this pop-up. And listen, man, pray for us. I know God has some great stuff in store.
He does, for sure.
For what Denali is going to do. We're passionate about seeing relationships grow, and we're just going to allow God to use us to do that and whatever else He wants to do through this agency. So, man, much love. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you in the next pop-up.
Bye, guys.
Peace.